Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Adrenal Fatigue podcast. We are pumped up because today we're talking about red light therapy. So hot right now. We often think about red light therapy when we're thinking about inflammation or injuries, can be really beneficial for that. But it's not something that often comes to mind when we're thinking about fatigue and energy. But it turns out that it can actually be really supportive for that too. So today we're going to talk about red light therapy and how it can be supportive to add to your routine if you're struggling with burnout and chronic fatigue. And we're very pleased to be joined by Dr. Zulia Frost from Recharge Health. We're going to be chatting about what red light therapy is, how it works, how it can be beneficial for those struggling with fatigue issues, how it can be supportive for sleep, immune, gut health, and more. How you can get access to red light therapy at home in a convenient, affordable way. And it's all happening right now. Dr. Zulia Frost is the clinical director and co founder at Recharge Health. With decades of medical experience and trained as a Western medical doctor, treating over 10,000 patients, she has long been recognized as a pioneer in the field of energy therapy. She's passionate about innovative therapies and uses neurostimulation, laser, and light technologies to great effect in combination with deep, holistic, and integrative understanding of the human body. So awesome. As co founder of Recharge Health, she's in charge of clinical evaluation, studies, and education demonstrating to users worldwide through webinars and hands on sessions through the power of targeted red light therapy. As a cosmopolitan at heart, Dr. Julia is originally from Kazakhstan, and she runs an exclusive clinic in the UK, but is currently based in Barcelona, Spain. Dr. Zulia, we're so honored to have you on the Adrenal Fatigue podcast today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to connect with your patients directly and tell them about the miracles of red light therapy.
We are thrilled to have you. So let's start there. Can you just tell us a bit about the benefits of red light therapy in a nutshell?
Yes, straight away into nitty-gritty. It's because it's so many complex impacts from light on our body. And I think I'd like to start with just explaining that the light, the simple light which comes from the sunshine, from the sun, has already positive health benefits. And we scientists, we learn how to harvest that energy and put into the devices and make it potent and strong. So you could take this little bit of sunshine in your home and help yourself with health. The science started actually, I would say, mostly from 1960s when they first discovered benefits of laser lights. And it often is referred to low-level laser therapy, but it's now, of course, including novel LED industry as well. And when scientists studied this, they discovered that there is an impact of certain wavelengths of light on human body. And particularly the most discovered is the red and near infrared spectrum of light. And these two wavelengths has directly impact on cellular mitochondria. This is, of course, for many people, it's not familiar with this concept, but it's basically little organelle which lives in your almost every cell in the body, and it makes energy for you. And this energy is used by the cell to perform whatever it's supposed to do. So having direct impact from photons of light on this mitochondria makes the cells to generate more energy, which is directly, we're talking about adrenal fatigue. This is directly what patients need because every cell involved in the inflammation or some processes, it runs out of energy effectively. So we need to recharge our body at the level of the cell. So red and infrared lights are two wavelengths which do it most effectively. In addition to this, there is another mechanism which people should know, that as a result of this engagement of the photons of light with mitochondria, with the enzymes, there is a release of nitric oxide. And the nitric oxide is ultimate vasodilator. And again, everybody should want this effect because most of chronic inflammation, when it happens, there is a very poor blood supply. So if we stimulating with light the area of the body which is inflamed and has degenerative processes, would directly stimulate local blood flow, and be delivering oxygen, be giving cells nutrients, and as we discussed before, be giving cells the energy. What better combination? There is also interesting aspect of red light therapy is the impact on the circadian rhythm through melatonin. And melatonin, most people know, is the sleep hormone or some antioxidant. Some people know it as an antioxidant. But hey, red light since ancient time was actually used by yogis to when they were staring sunrise or sunset to harvest that beneficial wavelengths through their eyes and stimulated body natural balance to sleep and activity. So again, this is a very well-known effect of particularly red light therapy to regulate the production of the melatonin in the body, and by doing this, improving sleep. There are some other also mechanisms we can talk about, like impact on the collagen, which was very useful impact if you want to heal injuries, or impact on the stem cells, again, when you try to repair some parts of the body. As you can see, this subject is so big, but let's maybe talk in more details.
Yeah, I love it. And now when you're talking, I understand why you named the company Recharge Health.
Exactly. I sincerely believe, maybe because in my practice, I work with energy devices, and I discovered that we maybe give people nutrients, we maybe give people physical exercise performance, etc., adjustments, but nobody really look at the energy aspect. And without energy, you simply cannot heal anything. So you need this physical, primordial, fundamental energy to run your body healing processes. And that's why we came up with the device Flex Beam, and we call it Recharge as our company. Yeah.
I love that. Wow. So this could be an incredible modality to bring into our day-to-day rituals if we were
Uh,
struggling with burnout and fatigue.
yes, absolutely. I would definitely recommend to use it. And I use it myself. Lots of patients, my patients all using it nowadays. So we know already through the just real world data that it is effective for fatigue.
You touched. Thank you so much for giving that overview. And as I'm still learning, and it's between the support with the sleep and inflammation. There's so many, and the helping with the poor blood supply. And those are all things that people I know listening are struggling with. So it's wonderful to know that this is out there as another option. And gosh, helping us harness energy from the sun and making more energy. We could all use a bit of that in our lives. So yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you for explaining that. So I'm curious what people, when the people that you work with and the people that are using this therapy consistently, like how long it takes just to notice benefits, and then what do they typically notice?
Mm. It's a very good question. Of course, listen, we all of us are different. We have different maybe conditions, but also different vitality, way we respond to therapy. And it's really, in my view, it's depends how depleted your body is. The more depleted you are, it takes longer because you cannot throw all that energy at once. The body needs to assimilate that slowly, step by step. And that's why people, particularly with fatigue, I don't recommend them to use every day. Like I would say, if you're athletic, if you want to use red light therapy for your optimization of physical performance, it's very different because then you need to be doing it every day, maybe a couple of times a day, and you get results straight away, immediately after each session. People with chronic fatigue, they will notice most likely the effect, I would say, after 2 months of continuous use. Why that? It's because of these factors, but also because at first, whatever energy your body starts generating on a cellular level, it's going to be used already to make adjustment on the cellular level. So you charge in your system, but you don't get yet feeling like, oof, I'm full of energy, I'm great. Yes. But if you do it gradually every other day, you have a routine, and that is actually also will support for better absorption of the nutrients. If you do also nutritional program on the side, because you have the energy to process and assimilate nutrition into your body. In my rough estimation, could be sooner, could be later, but it's approximate that time. I had a patient with peripheral neuropathy in this study. We got the first results after 2 months, but after 4 months, there was a very stable improvement in all levels. She also was fatigued. She also had some digestive problem, but it doesn't come as one. It's always many things. This is some idea about what to expect.
Mhm. Yeah. I wonder if that's the same effect with people that maybe would be using this would maybe just be using it for the fatigue factor, right? Like the burnout, but also for maybe joint pain or some other inflammation. So I would think that they would notice results even quicker for some symptoms or
I agree with you. It really depends also how severe the fatigue. What I'm telling you about the extreme cases. So sometimes people build up wrong expectation. They think, oh, I do one session and I'm good to ride a horse. But yeah, it could be, of course, sooner, of course.
So cool. So Recharge Health makes this device, the red light therapy device, the Flex Beam. And we'd love for you to share more about it. Angela and I have been trying it out ourselves and just loving the flexibility of it. But Dr. Zulia, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Flex Beam and what makes the Flex Beam unique?
Sure. Flex Beam was a baby of our engineer, Adrenal, who actually looked at a lot of scientific papers because there are so many red light therapy devices on the market. And what he told me, what inspired him to look into this. So he looked at the NASA studies on how it affects human being, how quickly they heal wounds using this device. And then he said, you know what? It feels to me that there is not enough power. And he went through the whole bunch of research, and collectively we came up with this device, which is, in my view, it's like a beast. It's really potent, very potent energy-wise. And of course, you have to. And now when I look at the old data, I understand he absolutely right. Because first of all, if you have devices just generating red lights, the absorption comes only at the skin level. Yeah. If you want to deliver energy deep inside the body, you need near infrared lights and you need powerful near infrared light, because even with near infrared light, but from low power sources, it goes maybe 1-2 centimeters at skin depth. It's just not enough. But if you really want to reach like a hip joint, target your knees, target your inner organ, like a gut, you really need deeper penetration. That's where power comes handy. But of course, because it's LED technology, it doesn't have any danger. Like lasers, when it's too powerful, it can burn. LEDs are completely inherently safe. So having potent LEDs actually plays a very good role. So when we talk about the Flex Beam itself, I would say number one, why it's different from any products on the market, it's by its power. Number two, it's because you can target that power, and you can target by variety of ways. Number one, you can actually flex it around the parts of the body. It's flexible. And you can stick it to the body, and you could continue do whatever you like doing it, but it's already started working. And you could see because it's modular, it creates 3-dimensional delivery of energy from different angles. Plus, on the top, you can actually create the target where you want this energy to go. Program 1, for example, is mostly red light. It will be assimilated at the skin level. Program 2, probably at the level of small joints. But 3 is the one. Most of the time I use 3 in my practice because it has deep penetration, all the way up to 10 centimeters. So it can deliver energy that deep. So you have ability to target. And then we talk about how easy to use, right? Like you can stick it. If I have low back pain, I just put it on my waistline and then I continue to work on my laptop. So I don't need to be standing in front of the panels and wearing goggles as well. I don't need to, because it's directly on the skin. Saying that, I don't want to put down any other photobiomodulation or red light therapy devices because they all have use, they all have place and the purpose. Like aesthetic devices should be done by estheticians and masks and everything. It works very well. Panels really work well for just general energy, feeling well-being. Yes, flex beam is good when you want to target specifically. And saunas, infrared saunas, it's also good. I have one at home as well. I love that stuff, and it's good for detox, etc. So we have to embrace the whole field is very fast developing, and this is all for our patients' use.
So neat. Yeah, that's one thing that stood out to me. I always wanted to get one of the red light panels. And then after trying the flex beam, I feel like, especially if you don't have tons of space and you don't want to have something out like that all the time, the flex beam is the perfect solution. And I love that it's flexible for different areas of the body like that, like very practical.
Yes, indeed. I love it for that same. And like you, I always wanted to buy a panel first, but you're like, oh, where's your put? It's quite also expensive. And then I'm thinking, Flex Beam really does a good job for me. But there are some people, by hackers, for example, they like it all. They have a panel, they have Flex Beam, they have infrared sauna, fully equipped.
Yeah. That's so nice. So it's different. The way that it works is different than infrared sauna.
Yes. It's different primarily because in infrared saunas, they utilize mostly mid-range and far range of infrared light, which act on the water body. So your water absorbs photons of light and get energized. That's why you feel hot from inside. But with Flex Beam, we use wavelengths red and near infrared, which directly affect mitochondria, but they don't really absorb water so much. So it's, in a sense, what you do here, you have photostimulation without heating tissue. Whether in the sauna, traditionally, it's a photostimulation with heating the water body. However, nowadays, saunas started to employ all range. They also have the infrared range as well. So this is good news.
It's so neat. So I know you spoke to the benefits for the mitochondria and for the energy before. But Dr. Zulia, is there anything else you would add in how the flex beam supports with energy?
First of all, we talked already that energy generates in every cell. There are cells of different kind, right? We have cells of the immune system, which we need to, for example, boost the immune system, then shine in the parts of the body which correspond to the immune system. Where we have lots of lymphoid tissue in the gut, that would be my primary place to put Flex Beam, because then you would be activating the gut immune cells. And in addition to this, actually, talking about placement on the gut, scientists discovered that gut microbiome is light sensitive. So it makes absolute sense to place Flex Beam over the intestine, small and large intestine, and it will help to rebuild or give energy to the microbiome as well. So you can address the immune system, but you also can address microbiome doing that. I like my patients to use the positions over the center of the front, because the thymus is also part of the immune system. Although it's in the adults, but it's still energetically still present. So you could stimulate with that. Generally speaking, yes, good example for you, post-COVID, long COVID patients. What's happened, the virus or spike protein, this stimulates immune cells they work really hard. And then after that, they become flat completely. The batteries in those cells are gone. So in order to get people out of this condition, you really need to use particularly near-infrared lights and red lights. And then you gradually rebuild that charge within the cells themselves. In addition to this, when you stimulate the mitochondria, you also stimulate release in small amounts of reaction oxygen species. So why is it important? This is affects so-called like hormesis. So a small thing in the bad things in small quantities is actually good. It's intermittent fasting. A little bit fasting is good. Long fasting, maybe not. But like plunging in the cold water is also good. So in the same way, we produce small amount of reaction oxygen species, which act like a signal. It signals transcription factors. It signals cellular protective mechanism, cellular proliferation. So it all comes like a cue for the cell. Okay, you can do this now. And we talk about already about the improving microcirculation too. So it's all comes all together handy and create this energetic impact on the body.
So really exciting.
Dr. Zulia, you mentioned about the gut, and that's one of your favorite places for it. And I just wanted to speak of that for a moment. For those who don't know and aren't aware, they say that 70% of our immune system is in our gut. And I'm just thinking like how many areas of this could really help with our clients or people that are listening, because poor gut health, right, affects, we know this, it's our second brain. So it affects our mood. It affects our immune system, our ability to absorb nutrients, which is like, if we're not absorbing nutrients, then we're not gathering the nutrients we need from our food and our supplements that we're taking. I see this as such an awesome tool for that and just supporting great gut health. So I love that you brought that up and explained that.
Oh, that's great. It's great because we thinking. I also like to use flex beam on the liver projection, which is this right side of the rib arch, and spleen, which is on the left side, because these two glands are really important for function of the digestive system. And spleen, not many people know about it. It's not just recycling all blood cells, but it also stimulates release of the serotonin in the gut, which is very important hormones in our body. And my recommendation, you can use on upper digestive system all over where the colon, or you can place it over the descending colon, and that is will be very helpful in most people who have problem with IBS. You cannot evacuate properly in time; it's all chaotic, etc. So there are so many applications, but it certainly will be helpful for the gut health. And you're absolutely right. I use it also to, if somebody comes and says, oh, I have degenerative processes in the head. And because flex beam actually not designed to place on the head. It's very powerful. We don't know the dose there. So I said, instead of placing your head, put it on your stomach because it's a mirror what's happening there. Yes, great application. And what we didn't talk, part of my protocol for sleep enhancement is to use on the stomach as well. But with sleep, we also recommend to use it in the center because it's also covering the heart area and how much mitochondria in the heart, yes? Covering the low abdomen, low sacrum, back of the neck, because it's also linked to the vagus relaxation. And also we stimulate melatonin with using light.
What a beautiful thing. I also found I gravitated towards putting it around the gut, like you mentioned, Dr. Zulia. But I found too, like as busy moms, we're working, our days are full. I found that it was just like a nice, quiet moment for me. I know very well I could probably use the straps and go about working if I really wanted to, because it's flex beam and it's flexible. But I did find it was nice to just have that as part of my ritual where I was relaxing and just like soaking in the light. And I thought that's probably an extra benefit for the nervous system while getting all these beautiful benefits of the red light as well.
Yes, we all know that most of conditions people experience it's due to stress, and often stress is not recognized. They like people just hyper on the go all the time, and they don't know. They don't know other way when you actually relaxed. Then you realize, oh, I have been stressed. I've been stressed before. But this position, like you say, like it's humming a little bit, right? It gives you the pleasant red light, but also little humming of the fans. And to me, it's like holding a baby. It's so pleasant. It's calming. And yeah, it's if people want to use it for sleep, they need to use it either in the evening before they go to bed, or if they start feeling energized, maybe in the morning when they just woke up. Again, it's inducing you in this day, nice and relaxed without being stressed.
So great. I love that you brought up the stress element as well, which is a big part of the HPA access puzzle here. And really, one of the biggest things is for us to be able to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system more often if we want to heal the nervous system and be able to drop out of that fight and flight state and go into that relaxation, rest and digest state. So great for that. I love that. On a personal note, I've been using this tool. I have mine right here. And I've been mainly using it for my legs. So I used to have a lot of eczema. And so I've been using it for scarring on my legs. And what was interesting that I found was that I had like a cut on my leg from something. And I noticed like significantly quickly healing from that. Like when I healed when I was a kid, like you'd heal from scratches really easily. But like now that I'm in my 40s, my body doesn't recharge or rejuvenate as quickly. So I did notice that went away really fast after using it on my legs. So that was fun to see the like
Right.
impact.
I agree. I agree. I did the study on the bones. It really, in 1 week, you can get so quick, so much better and clean healing. Nothing is weeping. Everything is just tidy, nice, and you just and they close. And I experience on myself as well. I got some bumps and scratches when I do fitness.
Yeah. So great. Is there anything else that we should be mindful of when we're using this device or anything else that you wanted to share?
Yes, one thing, I guess patients with fatigue, they are not going to be like wanted to use it all the time. However, there are some individuals who would say the more the better, the more the better. And so this is not the case with photobiomodulation because light has got the interesting effect. They call it Arnschut's law or biphasic dose response. It's basically if you start using lights, first you get benefits until you reach the perfect time when, the best benefit. And then if you continue push energy in, it starts declining and it could even get you negative effects. So you don't get any results at all. That is why our recommendation, whenever you use X-beam or any other tool in red light therapy, you need to make some break from therapy. It doesn't need to be used all the time and too much. In our recommendation, you use it approximately 20 to 40 minutes, which is 2 to 4 cycles a day. Okay. And if you feel like more or less all right, you're not that extremely sick person, you could use it daily. But what I come up with this regime, so if you use Monday to Friday every day, then you have weekend off completely. And then you restart and your body readily absorbs it. But if you really fatigue, very sick, and you have many symptoms, use it every other day. And then maybe 3-4 weeks, you must have completely week break, like completely week break. Why do we need this? Because on energy level, when your body receives energy, it's put into work. It starts fixing something. And if you give too much energy, the body starts fixing everything at once. Of course, it cannot succeed. So things are going to be aggravated or things are going to be, it's too much. It can be overwhelming. So that's why recommendation to make breaks. Generally speaking, otherwise there are no known side effects to it. Maybe there are some individuals who are light sensitive. This is rare, but happens. And some medication or even some supplements can make people light sensitive. So how do you know? You would know it that if you place flex beam on the body and you have a cycle and then you take it off the skin, but you still feel warmth. People shouldn't feel that warmth. They feel fine, light, yes. But if they do, then it means light sensitive, so need to reduce the exposure time. Instead of 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And if it's still going on, that maybe this device is not for you. Lastly, I would say people, right now is a big fashion for tattoos. With physics of light, you should understand that tattoo often they are like dark on the skin, and this accumulates light at the surface. So you may get redness or even blisters if directly stimulating tattoo. So we don't recommend this. Put it around and it will be fine.
So interesting. Thank you. Oftentimes we have clients coming into our programs and they're quite sensitive, like very sensitive to foods and supplements, and sometimes seems like a lot in all regards. And I'm curious if you mentioned like people when they're really sick or really depleted, they should do it more. Do you think that people could have any sort of experience if they are sensitive in a negative way, if they did too much too fast? It could be like the general recommendation, but if they found it a little much, they would just do it for shorter periods, less frequently kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. Always give a space. If you see, even if they aggravate, this is not a bad symptom. Even if they aggravate, it's actually good. The body is doing something about it. It's an indication there is a change. The worst scenario always was for me when patients say, "Oh, I feel the same." This is no, please don't tell me this. Yeah. So if your patient is sensitive, food sensitivity, etc., just short, maybe instead of 20 minutes, 10 minutes a day. Maybe not every day, but every other day. If you space out, it should be fine.
Okay, cool. Earlier, Dr. Zulia, you mentioned the price of just red light therapy in general, like how it can be quite expensive. And I think for people who maybe hadn't listened to this episode and see all the value that something like this could bring to their lives, it can seem like it's a bit of more of a pricey investment. But yeah, after all the benefits you just shared with us, it seems like it's so affordable, especially the Flex Beam
Do you know,
for all of the perks. Yeah.
we consciously made the decision to keep the price at affordable level because it probably came from the fact that I'm a clinician. I've worked with patients for many years, and as a clinician, I could do only that much in that hour when I'm with them, and then the whole week goes and we don't see each other, and I'm like, "Ugh, it needs to be supported, and it needs to just energetically to support." So I really wanted to create a device for people to take home, and then I have others modality, and it's so expensive, and it's just like terrible. I really wanted patients to be able to afford it, and I think FlexBeam, honestly, by the quality of it, by the how much research and everything went into developing it, it should be over 1,000. Should be. We could have sold it at that price easily, but we made the conscious decision keep the price down so more people can afford to using it. And when you look at the benefits which you have, and the whole family can use for a variety of things, like you have with your leg, the wound, you knock something off, you have bruises. I burned recently my hand, and oh my God, miracle. It was just the pain gone in 4 minutes only of using FlexBeam. I was so astounded myself. So I think it's good for people to have it at home. That's my personal opinion.
I only wish I had it earlier. I ended up with the birth of my daughter having an unplanned C-section, and I wish that I had it earlier for the healing of that, but I used it more recently. It's been over a year since I had the surgery, but I was using it on that area and I just felt like I had some maybe like scar tissue stickiness there. And I honestly feel like it helped with that.
It should be.
Yeah.
By the mechanism, what I read in science papers, how does it work? It works on so many levels, and it helps to remodel scars because particularly infrared light, near-infrared specifically light, remodel scars a lot faster. So even though they are inside the body, but near-infrared light can reach there, so it can do the work there. So yeah, totally.
So would
Oh,
it be
great.
safe? Would it be safe for somebody to use right after a surgery, or would you recommend like waiting for it to heal a bit? Like just on that note.
No, definitely. After the surgery, as soon as possible. There is no danger. There is a immediately when you have a profuse bleeding, then of course it's not recommended. But once the bruise is formed, once the wound is stitched, after that, you can start using it straight away. And in my view, the sooner you use, the faster you get the healing. Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited to start using it on my gut. So thank you. Wonderful. Was there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience?
Oh, I just want to say this to everyone. With these illnesses, we struggle, go through life, but it teaches us something. And for me, the biggest lesson is to learn how to get to health and take responsibility yourself. So You can go in circles from one doctor to another and everything. But really, what you need to do, you need to understand what is the problem. Look at the whole aspects of healing. And Flex Beam is wonderful, but it should be a part of your program, part of your recreation program. There should be nutrition, there should be stress management, there should be so variety of things done together. And you're going to get there totally, especially if you decide deep inside yourself that you're going to do it. And to me, the message to everyone is just to take responsibility for your own health and do everything what needs to be done yourself. And here are the tools. The tools are there for you.
Thank you so much. I love that. That was actually one of the biggest lessons I learned on my journey. So I'm really, somebody gave me the quote, and I know some of you have heard this before who listen to us often, is that quote where it says, "It might not be your fault, but it's your responsibility." And it reminds me always for me, it was stop being the victim, Angela. Put your big girl boots on and figure this out and get to the bottom of it. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's my responsibility. No one's going to heal me. And so thank you for sharing that. And I think that's a great message to end with. So thanks for joining us, Dr. Zulia. This has been wonderful.
Thank you so much for giving the opportunity.
So what we've found here at the Adrenal Recovery Collective is the holistic approach is really essential. So I love that Recharge is all about that. I love that Flex Beam can be such an amazing modality for us to have as part of our weekly rituals to support us in just getting to the root level of feeling amazing and thriving in our bodies. So Dr. Zulia, you've shared so much juicy wisdom with us, and you have generously offered our listeners, especially if you're listening this first week of air date, $50 off the Flex Beam. And so this is a great opportunity to save some money, get this incredible device into your life. Trust us. We've tried it. We're loving it ourselves. And if you're listening outside of the air date, the coupon and code is still valid. It's ARC10. So if you're listening in this first week, you'll get $50 off. ARC10, you'll get a discount regardless. A little further off, it just won't be as high. But take advantage of that code. And if you have any questions, it's linked in the show notes. Ask away. And Dr. Zulia, where can we learn more about Flex Beam, and where can we find you if we wanted to follow along on the recharge journey?
We have a website. It's called recharge.health. Very straightforward, because that is your mission, by the way. Recharge.health. And of course, we have on the main website, we have also a link to a support website. And on support website, you will find all information about science, technology, applications, protocols, and you'll find our customer service support, which if you write, that will come to my desk directly to me so we can communicate. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for everything and for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.